Welcome to another episode of Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting, relic, and treasure hunting. You can also call in to the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have. Relics Radio is also now syndicated on goodtalkradio.com and has a show each Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Arizona time. You're listening to Relics Radio of Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. And you are live with Relics Radio again tonight. We're coming to you live from Diggin in Virginia 45. We are at the Best Western Motel room in the, well, not in the room, we're in the conference room back here in the back. I am your host, Diggin with 7.
And I'm your co-host, Tennessee Jeff.
And I tell you what, we may be live on the show, but we're dead in our seats right now because we have hunted all day long, and I guess we've walked 1,000,000 miles, haven't we?
Almost 1,000,000 miles, not quite. But going to the room tonight, it'll make it 1,000,000 miles, I'm sure. It's been a rough day, and everybody's tired. Of course, we've got an audience, but of course, you can't see them. And everybody's going to sleep. What's up, Seven?
I don't know. I think everybody's just about as tired as we are. And Jeff and I are here in Culpeper, Virginia, and Mark Hoover is in Texas, isn't he?
He sure is. He's at the Garrett Memorial Hunt. He's actually eating dinner right now, so he won't be in the chat. And but we wish him the best of luck down there.
And we got the portable studio tonight. Don't have the normal setup that we do for the show, but I hope that all of the audio and everything is okay. It looks okay here, but you never know. If there's any problems, if anything needs to be turned up or turned down, you guys just kind of holler at us and let us know. But a lot of people here tonight. Dump Site Digger is here. Earl from Virginia is here. Will Johnson is here all the way from California. Bill Hayes is sitting at the table right in front of us. Denny Morrison is over at the other table. Denny, he may call in tonight. You don't ever know about Denny. And then we got the Dig Dogs. We got Ron and Tim are back at the back. We met a lot of people today. Got to meet the Hoover boys. Kurt was there, and also Redneck Bob and Bill was there, and they hunted with us early this morning in a thicket.
Yeah, thicket. I mean, we thought it was a new spot on the map that they hadn't added and been on the map in a long time where you could hunt. And we thought it was woods, but we got there and it was just a big briar thicket. That's all it was. And one of the Dig Dogs, Tim Henderson, he did find a sword hanger, so that was a pretty good find. And we was all excited about that, but where he found it at, a rabbit couldn't go. So.
No, it's kind of like the New York camp where we the last spring, where we hunted out on the right side of it. Wasn't it?
Where Matt Howe found that deer that walked off there and couldn't get out and died. So
there were one or two. It was a slow hunt today for a lot of people. We went to the Wisconsin camp, and it was a pretty slow hunt for us. But there were a few really good finds, weren't there?
No, there sure was. There was a Mississippi plate, and of course, there was, as we was walking out of the Wisconsin camp coming down the hill, they was digging some pottery and some bottles out of a hut deal there, or a trash pit or something. But there was a lot of good finds found that we hadn't seen yet in person. We've just seen them on the Facebook page.
Yeah, got to meet a few people that watch the show or listen to the show, and people that we know through YouTube or Facebook or something else, and got a pretty good chat going tonight too, don't we, Jeff?
We sure do. We've got Dennis, got Jason, Ken's in the house. Let's see. We've got Denny. Hey, there's Denny in the house. Ohio Relic Hunter. We got Jerry, Anita. Yeah, there's a few in the chat here.
Yeah.
There's old Woody Jones.
I see Jason in there as well. And we've got both computers that are running. And by the way, Jeff, on that computer there, your last chat will be at the top. Anita Jackson was the last one. Mm-hmm. I know you're used to running your stuff there at home. But we're going to go ahead and try to get a guest in here real quick and out of the room. Who you going to pick?
Let's go with Will Johnson.
Come on over here,
California. Will. You can see him on my video several times, and he's a tough hunter. He will do just about anything to find a relic, and it doesn't matter if he has to crawl in a cave or crawl in a well house or what. He'll do it. You'll have to get on that mic pretty good because it's a dynamic mic. What kind of day did you have, Will? A tiring one?
I would say slow as molasses. Yeah. Until the end, actually.
Yeah.
When I crossed the road and started to find the fire bullets. Yeah.
Yeah. Get off the Wisconsin camp and kind of got over there. Is that a firing range across the road?
I would assume so, but there were 3 or 4 different pockets that I saw dug, so at least a couple different areas. Yeah.
And you're using GPX?
Yep.
As well.
Yep.
Most of the hunters here have GPXs. Few people have. I know Earl hunts with a MXT, and I saw some TDIs today. I saw a couple of Equinoxes on the Wisconsin camp. What else did you see?
I seen a
Hoover Boys had ATXs. Of course, they are with Garrett as their sponsor, and so they're using Garrett machines.
That's one thing about having a sponsor. You got to use their machines, and then hey, that's
it's
why
I
like all the machines. So I can't have a sponsor.
Yeah, but they. I don't know what Kurt and Redneck Bob did, but Bill was with us there for a while, and he found a Colt 44 that had been carved into what I think is a chess piece, where it had a cut in it, and like the rook, like the horse's head, they didn't have a horse's head carved into it. It just had a notch cut out. Wouldn't you say that was probably just a chess piece that was carved out?
It sounds good to me. Yeah, I haven't. I've had the fortune maybe of finding 3 carved bullets total.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Although I was, as Jeff knows, I was tempted. I didn't employ my usual strategy today, which is go where no man has gone before. That pool of water in the Wisconsin camp had my attention, and then I remembered that stock coil is not waterproof. So thankfully, I didn't step into that.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good.
But that's
thing
actually. My best finds at DIV actually have always come through, stepping into an area where either it's waterlogged or there's something wrong with a patch of ground and everyone else passes by, and that's where I've gotten lucky.
Yeah. And it's just a spot where, and that's what we tried to start with, because rabbits wouldn't even go in where we were at. And
right.
And we made a few good finds, but it's just you always want more, don't you?
You sure do. I mean, you always want more, and then it's hard to, if you're finding relics, it's hard to leave relics to find relics. And a lot of people at DIV, even at home, you may do that. And if you're finding relics, stay there. Why not? So,
well, that's kind of a rule that we always say. We don't want to leave relics to find relics, but when you're not on relics to start with, it's kind of hard to do that, But we did find a few things today.
Yep. So, Will, you've been to several DIVs, haven't you?
I think so. This is 5 or 6. Yeah,
5 or 6.
Yeah.
What is your best find out of all the DIVs?
So when I thought, and actually it was here at Brandy Rock. So the last time, which was for me maybe 4 years ago, was the second DIV I'd ever gone to, and it was a pair of epaulets.
Man.
So and back then, even when I exposed the shoulder cup initially, I had no idea what I was looking at, and luckily I had someone who was more experienced looking over my shoulder, because it looked to me like a brass soap dish. And so, and not only that, he said, "Oh, I know exactly what you got." And I think it had 3 of the scales attached still, and he said, "Listen, there's the scales are going to be here, and so he encouraged me to spend time and found the remainder of scales, and then he said, "Well, now that we've done that, they're pairs. Spend another 20 minutes," and sure enough, found the second one and found the remaining scales. It was fantastic.
Man, that was a great find.
Yeah.
And also, since you've been coming to the DIV, how many miles have you walked over this Culpeper ground?
Good Lord, more than I care to admit.
Yeah, that was a trick question. Nobody. I mean,
I thought you were going to ask me how many miles I've flown to cumulatively,
I know.
which is
This is a huge trip for you, isn't it? Coming all the way from California.
Yeah, no, it's I try to do it once a year at least, and the connection for me, my father grew up in Orange, so not too far from here, and so having family there, and that kind of spurred the interest in Civil War history. Although I was just saying at dinner, I wish I had picked up a metal detector and started coming to DIV 10 years sooner than I did, but better late than never.
Yeah, that's true. And where did you find the epaulette on Brandy Rock?
Yeah, not too far from the, I don't know what the field's called, but not too far from the Farley house. So if you come in the kind of the main entrance,
right,
on the right-hand side, that field on the right side.
Okay, we call it Button Hill. And then, I mean, it's just, there's stuff still there. There's so many square nails in that one spot that, I mean, it masks everything. And there was a guy, it was a couple of years ago, he dug a sword belt plate right next to the road. And as many people as hunted that field, I mean, there's still stuff there.
Is that the field where the bugles came out of?
I'm not for sure.
Someone had said that earlier today. Yeah, and someone else mentioned they found a whole patch of combs and yeah.
Now I know in the center of that field there, it was a worm found for the artillery worm, and then the guy was just started digging iron and then run into that, and that was a real cool find.
It's kind of hard for me, guys, to pay attention to the chat here. Mark Hoover generally does that for us, but Little Fork Ranger wanted to know, is there someone at DIV from Michigan?
Yeah.
Do you know who it is? We're asking the audience here. There are, do what?
I think there's a couple there from Michigan, Matt and Kimmy, I think.
Okay.
And she had never found a bullet.
We'll talk to you guys in a minute. You can talk about that. That's Bill Hayes and Denny are in the audience here. And good question. And if you've got a question, we'll post it here, and we will try to answer it the best that we can with what limited resources that we have and our little bitty minds.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, I've got a big microphone in front of me. It's kind of hard for me to even reach the laptop. So,
yeah, it's all completely different because I've got my Good Road microphone on that Good Road stand that just kind of scissors out, and at home, and all of my hands are free and everything's out of my face and everything. But when you go portable, it's I like doing these. I like doing them on the road, and we've done several now.
We have, and it's fun doing them on the road. So. But Will, I lost a question. How many times do you travel metal detecting in a year? I know you come to Middle Tennessee.
Yep. 2 to 3, I would say. It's typical for me. At least one DIV, and then we seem to meet up now at least once a year as well. And so,
you went to a Just Go Detecting too, didn't you?
I did in the fall.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I'd been on the site of an artillery battle. So there are a number of firsts for me. A couple shell fragments, more than a dozen or so shell fragments, a bunch of case shots. So that was neat. Yeah, that was cool.
Well, the most important question that we were going to ask you here on the show tonight is, where are you going in the morning? And are there going to be any relics there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there will be. Now, whether I can find them or not is a whole different story.
That's the whole deal.
I will follow you guys. Yeah.
Good answer. Good
it's
answer.
As the Bible says, the blind leading the blind. That's what it is.
Well, why don't I step away before my eyelids close?
Okay.
And let someone step up to the plate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow then, Will. And I tell you what, while we're doing that and Jeff's picking somebody else to come in, let us run this commercial. And by the way, guys, this is the last time you're going to hear this commercial here for Detectives.
Hey, Seven, we's looking good in our new Redux Radio t-shirts.
Yeah, Ken and Mark Guthrie of Detectives.com done brung 'em to us.
Yep. And they makes other shirts, too.
Yeah, boy. Detectives.com can handle tees for your club, hunt, or any other promotion folks may have.
They even got the Wide Pride shirts.
Yeah, them boys does the manatee crawl.
Yeah, scooting on their bellies.
That's what I said. The manatee crawl.
Looks like slugs eating jelly.
So whether you hunt horizontal or vertical, tell the folks where they need to go, TJ.
www.detectives.com.
And how Relic Hunter said, no, don't get rid of that commercial. Yeah, we're going to redo the commercial, and for a little while, we may bring this one back as one of the oldies, one of the classics or something sometime. But we ran that one quite a bit, so it's time to redo it. And we've got Earl from Virginia with us. What's going on tonight, Earl?
Sitting here with you guys.
Yeah,
trying to recoup from today.
You had a better day than we did, didn't you?
I had a better day, but Lloyd, I didn't get any brass today, so I got to make do for that tomorrow. I got to change that tomorrow.
And tell everybody what you're hunting with.
White's MX2.
Yep. And he does a great job with it, doesn't he?
He sure does. And since I've known him, he's been using it at DIV and has done great with them. So, but how many bullets did you find today, Earl?
I got 21. I got 20 fired, one drop. One's a Gardner, one's a Enfield. The rest are all 58s.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, of course, so we've got the high-priced GPXs, and we didn't do half as good as you did.
Yeah, well, I found some glass, and that's what kept me there. And even though the fired stuff was there was some glass laying around, and I kept seeing it shimmer in the light, and then plenty of square nails like everybody else got. But the glass was holding me there, and I kept thinking there was going to be a fire pit, and I couldn't get into one, so I got to move tomorrow.
I found a little small piece of a brown-type glass. It was thin, and it had, what did it have? EX on the back of it. It had
EW, yeah.
EW. It had some lettering on the bottom.
EW.
I don't know if that was old or not, but it. I dug a signal that came out, and I dug around there trying to see if there was anything else, and didn't find anything else with it though.
Well, if you didn't recognize the bottle, it's got to be old. Earl, how many DIVs have you been to, buddy?
Oh, man. I'm losing count. I think it's 9, somewhere right about 9, I think.
9. So,
yeah.
Which one's your best farm that you like the best?
Be honest, I like that farm we were in last spring. Even though the pickings were slim there's some. It was a different spot. Well, Brandy Rock is everybody's choice. I mean, Brandy Rock's the cream of the cream. Mm-hmm. Although, things are slowing down here, but they're still good. I mean, the Mississippi plate was dug today, so there's still good finds in there. Just,
yep.
I would say your odds of Brandy Rock of finding a find in a lifetime is probably peak.
We're getting some interference from something other. You hearing it?
Might be my phone.
Yeah, if you got your phone, you need to. It may be coming in. I think that was it. That stopped it.
Yeah.
Yep. Too many devices right here all together at one time. Hey guys, I tell you what, we'll try it if y'all want to try it. We are set up, and I think we're the only podcast now that can actually take calls. And if you want to try to call in to the show, 270-495-0315. If somebody's out there that can put it in the chat for us, it'd be easier for you to do it than it would for us. 270-495-0315. Call in if you want to talk. And if not, we're going to go around the room here and just continue to bring people in and see what they've got going on. And I guess we'll...
I got a question for you, Earl.
Okay, go ahead.
Out of all your DIVs, what is your best find that you've found?
that plate that last hunt that I pulled out of that spring just by reaching in the water, man. You can't beat that.
No, you can't beat that.
Plus, it was a box plate, and that was my first box plate. So,
and guys, let me tell you the story on this right here. It was on the New York Hill, and it was straight up and down to get there. And I told Earl, I said, I'm going to go up there with you. And by the time I had stopped 2 or 3 times, and Earl, he just he's just 2-timing it up there, and just breakneck speed. And so whenever I finally get up there, Earl's gone, and then Jeff, he finally gets up there, and we go to you come up there pretty quick, about like me. Poor old Butch, he had to take 2 or 3 stops getting up the hill there, but. We got up there and we went to the right in that big thicket. You went to the left, and we didn't realize what that left side looked like. That's where all the New York buttons and everything were.
Actually, I started off where you did, Lloyd. I did go to the right because we stopped at that big log in the road.
Right.
And I didn't see Jeff, so I was kind of lingering around. I meandered off to that right, but it got so thick I couldn't even move, so I came out and I went left after that.
Right.
So.
And if we'd have just gone left that first day, we'd have had a good hunt because all kind of New York buttons and everything. Yeah. But you found that plate down there, and that was a great find.
Yeah, it was down by the canal road, right there where they found 25 feet from where they found that sword with the reversed handle guard on it.
Right.
It was great fun.
I never did find that old colonial house that y'all were talking about.
There was like 3 of them. I seen 2, but there was actually 3 or 4, and that rare button they found at the very far end at the far end.
Yeah, that was a one-piece Confederate button, wasn't it?
That was a killer button.
Yeah, it was.
that boy didn't even know. Truthfully, he didn't even know what he had. That was a killer button, man.
Yeah, I would have walked that 5 miles for that button anytime.
You know what that goes to prove, though? That you don't have to have a ton of experience, and you don't have to have a great detector to come in here and find a find. I mean, this is a hobby where anybody can find a killer find any day of the week.
Truthfully, the guys that come in here that are coin shooters or new to the hobby are usually the ones that do great on day one at DFV because they're digging everything, and that's the way they do it anyway. Yeah. And here you got to dig everything pretty much. I mean, you're a little choosy about it, but especially at the end of the day when your freaking back's hurting, your arms hurting, your hands numb, you get a little choosy. But the guys that don't normally relic hunt are the ones that finds those killer finds on day one. Then the guys that have been here a while usually find it by day 3. They hunker down and they get in there day 3. But those rare finds on day 1 are usually newbies.
Yeah, that's true. Well, where are you going to go in the morning?
Good question. I'm probably going to go to the woods, but I'm not going to go in the woods as hard as you all went with the blood hanging off your arms and everything else.
Yeah. The Hoover boys, as I said, Kurt and Redneck Bob and Bill, they said that they were going to come tonight. They're probably mad at us because that's where we took them. They said, where are y'all going to go? And I said, we're going to go to a spot that hadn't been hunted. And then Bill said, this is y'all's spot? I said, yeah, this is what we like, these thickets like this. And he's kind of shaking his head, And I think they skedaddled out of there pretty quick. So
I know it didn't take us long to figure out, hey, this is too thick. We got tired of them briars.
So I don't see them in here tonight yet. And they may come a little bit later. Matt Howe and some of those guys are going to come. But good luck tomorrow.
All right.
Yep. And we'll get out here in the crowd and get somebody else. Who you got out there now, Jeff?
Any, mini, money, mo.
Jim, you want to come up?
Yeah, let's
come
go
on.
with Jim.
Thank you. He brought me a water, and you'll have to put those on where you can hear everything. This is Jim Benito. He is Dump Site Digger.
Yep, such a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. I got acquainted with you probably, how long has it been, 3 years ago maybe?
I would say 2.5, 3.
Yeah. Back at that time, I was doing shout-outs for everybody and
way back when.
Looking at channels that were just getting kicked off or had been going about as long as mine. And so I did one with Jim and got connected with him. That's the way me and you got connected.
I
did a shout-out for you.
Sure was.
And it was an honor.
I was sitting here thinking, Jim, you've known him for 3 years. Bless your heart.
That's about the way with Jeff. How'd you do today, Jim?
I didn't do so well. I had a 3-ringer, but that's what are you going to do? You just have to go with it. And tomorrow, hopefully, be a better day.
You were at the Wisconsin camp with us
after the 12 o'clock hour.
Yeah,
and I stayed there till about 4.
Yeah.
Yep, and it just tuckered me out, And like I said, tomorrow hopefully will be a better day. And I had a pretty decent day Wednesday. You know, considering I was here one day,
right.
I did a couple of pistol bullets and a round ball.
Yeah.
And I'm, looking for better things.
A lot of people think that whenever you come to DIV, you just kill it. You don't.
No. And you can't think that way either.
No,
right?
What is it that we said this morning? We're going out with high hopes and low expectations. And if you go out that way every day, you're not going to be disappointed.
Right, you're better off.
I mean, you get aggravated and you get mentally tired. With the machines that we're running, you don't have a VDI. You're only listening to tones.
Right. Yeah.
And do you find yourself listening to a tone and trying to make it be another tone that you want?
Not really. I'm still kind of like going through this, learning a little. I've done better on other days where, like, you just hit, like, say for me with the lead, with a bullet. And, if you start digging a couple of those and you get on a trail of that sound, like that's softer, but it's still kind of powerful compared to, like, today. I dug a bunch of little 22 shells and they were softer. And I was telling myself, stop digging that. It's all these little tiny things. And that's what I'm still trying to get through.
Right.
But you never know. The next time that little bitty signal may be something
deeper.
Kind of a lifetime.
That's what people don't understand.
Right.
You can have a tone and you'll say, that's probably going to be a 22. And they really sound good on the GPX because they've got that long tone. And but it could be a 22 or it could be a real deep 3-ringer, and you don't know.
Right. Well, that's why I can't not dig it, so
right.
to speak.
Yeah.
So,
but that's what tires us out is mentally thinking about the signals and then the up and down.
Up and down. And if you're not finding anything, it kind of wanes on you. I was telling somebody before.
Yep.
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah. And then carrying around the 50 pounds of cut nails that you find, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, right. But I enjoy it. I
really they need to bring a golf cart around with a big trash can on it where you can unload your trash every now and then. John and Rose, that's what we request from you. We want that.
It was funny today, this morning when Tim Henderson from Murray Branch Outdoors found that sword hanger. He also found it was a pulley system, and it was a pretty neat iron relic. And of course, it was fairly large, and he put it in his pouch and everywhere, his backpack. And then we got back to the truck, and then when he got up to the Wisconsin hill, he was like, man, it'd been better if I took this out at the truck. He'd been carrying it around all day.
Who needs to do that, right?
Yeah.
But I would like to say, though, is like, for anybody out there that was looking to come to a DIV, that I'm very happy that, so to speak, you make the move, try to get invited. And I love coming. This is my 3rd time or 4th time in Virginia since a year ago. So I'm very happy I'm doing that. It gets you out there, meeting people,
right.
Seeing all the guys you've known.
And
making a connection.
If you don't find but just a few things, it's the camaraderie that you have with other diggers that you watch their YouTube channel,
right?
Or like this here, we've got this podcast and people listen to us, and we're just normal old redneck people. We'd love to meet you and love to get out in the field with you. I mean, we're not any different than you are. We love the hobby just as much as you do, and.
Yep, I've been waiting to meet you guys for a while now.
Yeah,
if you remember.
Yeah, we missed hunts. I think you hunted maybe the second hunt, or we alternated hunts.
Like you went to 40, right, and then I went to 41, or
something like that.
And then,
right, something like that.
Here we are.
Yeah, so. we finally made it and got to meet Earl from Virginia here.
He's so smart.
And then got to meet Denny. I've talked to Denny a whole lot, but finally got to meet him. Yep. And got to meet you, and it's a treat. And I met Barb at a DIV as well.
Guy. And here comes the other crew.
Yeah, right. Here comes the Matt Howe bunch right here.
And with that, I'm gonna sign off.
Okay,
thank
Jim.
You so much.
Good luck
Great
tomorrow.
Seeing you.
Yeah,
Thank
you too. Bill Hayes, come on up. We got him out here in the front. And while Bill's getting his...
if he can make it.
If he can make it, yeah. He's just like us. So while Bill's coming up here, we're going to run a Murray Branch Outdoors commercial. If your passion is metal detecting, then you know how much your success is based on the equipment you use. Let my buddy Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, help you with that. Tim is an authorized dealer of Mine Lab, Garrett, XP Deus, and Macro detectors and supplies, and also carries many aftermarket items. Murray Branch Outdoors is not only competitive in their prices, but the service after the sale is second to none. Tim not only sells detectors, he uses them, and so he can answer any question that you might have. Murray Branch Outdoors also deals in used detectors, and he'll take your old detector in on trade when you decide to upgrade. So give Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors a call at 615-948-4611 or visit his website at www.murraybranchoutdoors.com. And be sure and tell him Relics Radio sent you. And Tim Henderson is in the room with us here tonight, hunted with us today. And last night we were at the buffet here, and or was it yesterday morning? I can't remember. And a guy came in and talked to Tim about a Equinox 800. But he was going to Georgia. The guy lives in where does he
Florida.
live? He lives in Florida.
In Florida, right out of Orlando.
But he was going to Georgia, and he said, "Is there any way I can buy a detector from you, and you can have it sent to Georgia?" And would you believe that they got that deal done, and he will have that detector tomorrow?
No, that is a good deal. His name's Shane. He's a good friend of mine, and Tim done him right, and he'll do everybody out there just the same way.
Yep. And we got Bill Hayes with us out of Ohio. What's going on, Bill?
Just out here digging.
Yeah. How'd you do today?
I did pretty good. I got 18 bullets, and some of them fired a few drops. Yeah. And then I got a bent spoon.
Yeah.
And a couple pieces of chips of brass, parts of something, haven't identified it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, they could go to anything. I mean, everybody always finds pieces of brass just laying around. How many DIVs have you been to?
I think this one now it makes 6.
6? Well, that's pretty good. So, which farm is your favorite?
Probably, the Glebe farm. I really like that one there. And then we was digging there. You're getting a lot of the shaler bullets.
Yeah, it was a lot of them found there.
Yeah.
I can't remember. How many was it over the years that had been found there? They said 7. Was it 10,000?
In that one hole that somebody dug, I think there was 908.
Yeah. And those
were complete sets.
Right. Those are $100 bullets, too. He could flood the market and really change the price on those bullets. Yeah. I like the Glebe farm.
Yeah.
That was my first DIV, wasn't it?
Yes, that was your first.
Yeah, that was my first one because we went to New York and Wisconsin and everything this last year.
And then I'd also found my first Virginia button there.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's...
And it was my first hunt, and we got over there on the firing range. You digging shot bullets, but I was just having a ball. And it was I got to meet Plugmaster Ford there. Who else did we meet? We met Matt Howe and his group, Jamie and all those guys. We did a live DIV here last year, and those guys came and sat in on the show. We're going to have them on here tonight again in a minute. But where are you going to go in the morning, Bill?
Probably back somewhere in the same area we was at today.
Yeah,
there's some large fields out there.
There are.
Oh yeah,
and there's some good stuff hiding there, isn't it?
Yeah. These fields were beans, which was easier. We did go over by the Farley house today, and those fields are corn.
Right.
And that stuff.
But there was good stuff found over there, wasn't there?
They may have. I didn't.
No, yeah. Wasn't that where was it a Mississippi or Georgia buckle?
It was a Mississippi, wasn't
Mississippi.
it?
Mississippi.
And of course, it was found in the corn stalks. Of course, I mean
and an ID tag and everything. And some of these other guys, they know it. We'll talk to them about that in just a minute.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of what everybody found today.
Right, because we've been working today, hadn't we?
Yeah. Right there, I think about 15 minutes before we quit, the detector run out of batteries. I had already run out of batteries.
Yeah, I had
say,
to.
I bet you-
I ran out of battery. I actually run out of battery about 2:00 and toughed it out up there. And, you get tired. You're ready to go. I knew we had to go to the room and get all of this studio equipment, haul it down here to the conference room, get everything set up, do sound checks and all of that, and get ready. And so that was kind of weighing on my mind a little bit. Before we were able to do this prior to even going hunting, wasn't we?
We sure was. I mean, it was a lot easier last year doing it. And,
Yeah.
Well, we had Butch here last year, and he helped us out a little bit. And,
Yeah.
But it still worked out good.
Yeah. Bill, what's the best thing you've ever found at a DIV?
Had a DIV, probably just some regular eagle eye buttons, stuff like that. See, this last hunt there, Fair Oaks, I did find a big old iron padlock with the old shield type.
Right.
It even had the brass keeper on it for the
Right.
lock
Really?
cover.
Yeah.
They're hard to find with the keeper. Most time you just find the keeper, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was a pretty big.
well, the keyhole
Lock.
cover is what.
Yeah.
Well, before you go, you've got to give a big shout out to your buddy Ohio Relic Hunter there real quick. Holler at him there.
Hey, Bill.
Tell him,
You should be down here stomping these hills with us.
that's right. Tell him at least call in.
Yeah.
Well, good luck tomorrow,
Yeah.
and hope that you find a bunch.
Yeah, good luck to you guys, too.
I'm
Well.
sure we'll see you in the morning sometime.
Yeah.
And we're going to holler at Denny Morrison, get him over here. He's next in seniority here, and get him over here, and then we'll. That'll probably run us up to commercial break, or it may run us up to Friday or Saturday. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear all his DIV
You're going to come
stories.
up? Come on, get up here then.
Yeah.
Put the headset on there. He was going to call in, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's been the DIV before it was even called DIV.
Yeah, probably so. Let him get the headphones on here, and you can hear everything, I guess, can't you?
I can hear everything.
Oh, good. What kind of day did you have?
I had a really good day. We just went back to a place that we hunted last time we came here, and I've got 28 bullets, got one pistol bullet. I got this, whatever this spoon thing is here. It's pretty cool. It's silver plated on both sides. I never saw anything like it before.
That's a spoon handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, bent spoon handle. That's
Pretty
pretty
cool.
neat. Yeah.
And I picked up even the metal I have found out there that was bent. I still picked it up because sometimes you might get a breastplate that's been rolled up or something, which my partner has found. So that's pretty cool. I keep everything. I got a trash bucket in the truck.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it throws everything in, everything.
And you never know. Of course, this red clay, it gets stuck on something, and then you don't know what it is until you clean it off.
That's
And
right.
It may be a little small piece, and then I've seen an ID tag that you couldn't tell what it was until after it was cleaned. And
Right.
Of course, it's a good thing they didn't pitch it.
Yeah. How many of these have you come to?
I
DIVs?
started in 2006, and I've only missed about 3 since then. So,
You've met a lot of good people, haven't you?
Yep.
A lot of good
All
hunters.
around the world.
Yep. And they come from everywhere. I mean, you go look at the license plates. They were, somebody had a dump truck here today
Yeah, I
from
saw
Texas.
that.
Did you see that?
I saw
You know what
that.
Jeff said? Jeff said he's planning on taking a bunch of relics back to Texas with him.
Maybe we could fill that truck up with square nails.
I don't know.
Well, I've got a good bunch we could throw in there right now.
But yeah, we and that's part of it, just the fun of getting out here and meeting people and having all the camaraderie that we have, and even when you don't find anything. Of course, it aggravates you now. You using the
Yeah.
GPX too, and it's not a light machine, is it?
It is not, and for a 72-year-old, it gets pretty heavy after. I use a bungee cord. You can tell when I'm getting tired, I got the bungee cord on.
Now, for the record, people, this is a man that's sitting in a room that's older than me, and that's hard to come by right there.
And I walked, I put my battery in today, and I got one of Reedman's batteries for my GPX, and that thing lasted 8 hours solid. And when it started going beep, 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 I was ready to head for the truck.
Yeah. Is there any international diggers here?
international. Are you watching the chat here?
I seen a.
Oh,
yeah.
We're having a hard time watching the chat because we normally talking and half redneck Mark Hoover does all that for us, and then he sends it on another screen, and we don't have all of that here. I don't know if are there anyone from overseas, Australia or anywhere.
I can't answer that. I really don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I met this guy. His name's Seven. I think he's from out of the country. I mean,
he's definitely
awful
out of the country.
strange, but
Maybe another planet. You don't ever know about that.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go tomorrow, Denny?
Probably pretty close to where we went today. I mean, today all day. There's just a ton of bullets in this place. A lot of people say it's going to be the last hunt. I don't think so. A lot of great things have been found today. Every time we come to Brandy Rock, you just can't believe the relics have come out of here. I actually found my first breastplate up there where you guys all went. There's a little sign up there that says Brandy Rock.
Right.
Not 50 feet from that, I found my first breastplate. After many, many years that we came here, I never found it.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Well, I'm still. I've got a breastplate, but I don't have a box plate or a belt plate.
No.
And I would have took that Mississippi, over a CS or a USA.
Well,
and I see that Barb Connell walked into the room.
I've been listening while I ate.
Oh, good,
Barb.
good. Barb is here. That's what I love about these shows like this, because we can get in here and everybody's live around us, and we appreciate all of our listeners that listen to us on Spreaker. We appreciate all of our international listeners that listen on syndicated all over the United States and all over the world, and it's just amazing that they like to listen to a bunch of us old country boys just sit around and talk. But it's a lot of fun, isn't it, Denny?
I didn't do a video here yet, but I did a video at White Oak Museum. I took Bill over. He had never been to the White Oak Museum. I took Bill Hayes over, and I put that thing on Facebook. I've had almost 3,000 hits from it. It's been shared in Russia and Germany, so we get around
Really?
the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that
it
is cool.
Yeah.
Well, good luck tomorrow.
I got to tell you, my buddy found, this is something you'd like.
Okay.
He found a trine out there in the field today. I think it's 18 to 54.
1854.
I've got a 1854 Triumph,
Yeah.
and that is a hard coin to find.
And find it here in Virginia. That's awesome.
Did he
Yeah.
find it with the GPX?
He did.
What did it? High tone.
Yeah, high tone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how deep was it?
Everything we found out there wasn't very deep.
Okay.
I actually, maybe when Barb gets on here, I showed her how to listen to the signals. They're really tough.
Yeah, they are. And we were digging signals that we normally don't dig,
Exactly.
but they were turning out to be square nails. Everything that I dug that I thought this is lead. I know it's lead. It would be. It might be part of a bullet, or it may be a cut bullet or something other. But it was lead.
Yeah.
But when you're not finding things, you're trying to make a bad signal sound better and everything.
And I found a few of them fence steeples. Man, they sound real good.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
Them and bent nails too.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Well, good luck tomorrow then.
All right,
and
thank
we're going to get Ron Reed to come up, if he will, our hunting buddy, and hunt with us. Let him have that. And we'll get a couple of minutes out of Ron real quick here before we run a commercial, and then we'll get to Matt Howell and his group, or we'll get to Tim Henderson if he wants to come up here and sell some metal detectors. Goodness gracious, Ron, we had a hard day, didn't we?
Whew, it was tough. A lot of walking.
Yep.
A lot of walking.
And Ron scared some people to death today, because when we walked out of the thicket, you had blood coming off your arms.
I did. And only about 8 pistol balls to show for it.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Yeah. We found what we found in that thicket fairly quick. I hit a 3-ringer real quick there, and Tim found a sword hanger there real quick. You found most of your pistol balls there real quick.
Yep.
And then
I found a little pendant little necklace, and
Yeah.
that was
That was cool.
that was pretty much the only find I found in that thicket.
And I know that Bill Hill with the Hoover Boys, he found that car 44 before he even got in the woods. He said, "You guys said follow you over here. Is that where y'all are going to hunt?" I said, "That's what we like, is those thickets." And he just kind of shook his head. I don't think they stayed there too long. I think they went somewhere else, and I don't know how they did. I hope that they did well. Don't know what we're going to do tomorrow, but we're going to change plans, ain't we?
Yep, we are. But we just kind of followed along. This is my first DIV, me and Tim.
Yeah.
So it is great to come out here and meet a lot of people that we haven't got to meet. And that's really why we came out, you know.
And you have a chance to find something that we can't find in Middle Tennessee.
Oh, for sure.
And I mean, you have a real good chance of finding the find of a lifetime here. So I mean, I know if we spent as many hours as we did today hunting in Middle Tennessee, we would have found a lot more stuff. But I mean, like a CS plate, it's a lot harder to find one in Middle Tennessee. Than
For
it is
sure.
here.
Or Mississippi plate.
Yeah, Mississippi plate. Yeah,
We're not going to find that probably.
Yeah.
No, we're not. And where can you go that you meet all these great people?
Oh,
And,
that's right.
Get introduced to people that you see them on YouTube, you see them on Facebook, you see them in chat here, and you're able to put a face with it. And that's the beauty of doing it. This is not easy, guys. I mean, what we do is not easy, and anybody that does it will tell you. Monday night I had American Digger Relic Roundup show. I'm obligated to do that. I wish I didn't have to on that Monday night because I got through at 9:30 our time. I had to tear down everything. I had to load everything up. I had to drive to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. It took me 2 hours. It's close to midnight when I got in bed. And these guys are coming at 6 o'clock in the morning to pick me up at my daughter's house. And I told them, I said, "You're not only going to have to wake me up, you're going to have to carry me to the truck too." But it's worth it, to get to come. So, well, we'll have a good time tomorrow. We'll go somewhere.
Yep, I'm sure we'll find something too.
And
we'll find something.
Great trip. Hey, guys, while we're waiting to get the next sucker to come up and put the headphones on, let's run another commercial break here. If you want to keep up with what's going on in the metal detecting world, then you need to be a subscriber to American Digger magazine. Butch and Anita Holcomb are the publishers of the magazine and have won awards for 3 straight years for being the best digger magazine on the market. American Digger magazine is available in both print and digital formats, so no matter where you live in the world, you can enjoy the latest happenings in the hobby. You can get in touch with American Digger magazine by going to americandigger.com or give them a call at 770-362-8671. And be sure and tell them that you heard it on Relics Radio. And for those of you that don't know, I am now the producer and also the co-host of American Digger Relic Roundup on Monday night with Jeff Lupert and Butch Holcomb, and it's an honor to be on there. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to spotlight different writers of the magazine or people that have been written about in the magazine. So what you need to do is get a copy of the magazine. It's the greatest magazine that has to do with metal detecting in the country. They're both digital and also print. And go on over and holler at Anita and get your name on the list and get you a magazine. We've got with us now Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors. What's going on? You had a great day.
I had a pretty good day.
Yeah.
He really did. He had a great day. And his first hunt here, man, he killed it. So
you started off the day with a sword hanger?
Yep.
Have you got one of those before? Is that a bucket list?
That's a bucket list.
That's a bucket list?
Yep.
And then we got over in the Wisconsin camp. We couldn't buy a bullet. I finally found one or two, and Jeff found one or two, but you found more bullets today than any of us did.
Well, just a little bit of last-minute luck.
Yeah.
Hit that pistol bullet. That was the best signal I had all day.
And after he found a Colt 44, beautiful drop, And then he walked on down just a little bit, and we'd been hunting everywhere. And I tell you what, I would have given somebody $10 for a 3-ringer just to dig one, And so he got another one, and I walked over there, and I told Ron, I said, I got to look at his machine, And so I hollered at Tim, and I said, let me see your machine. He's afraid we're going to detune everything,
Yeah.
And I said, no, I want to see how you're set up on one or two things. And is a little bit different in the tone. You were in quiet instead of deep, and we were running in. Well, my machine was actually on normal. It should have been on deep, but I told you, I said, well, I would say maybe you need to go to deep, but you found everything being on silent. Maybe we all need to go to silent. I don't know.
I know it. And that sword hanger, it was beautiful. I mean, it is a great piece.
Think about that.
I guess we need to go to quiet tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I did that while I was up in those nails, and then I actually forgot to change it back. So if it worked out, it was a good mistake.
That's the way it is. I worked with the RX gain on mine in the 44 woods one time. Accidentally turned it down to 4 and started finding a lot of stuff coming off a 9, and I run about 5 or 6 now. And it depends on the soil and the coil that you're using, and you can jack up that gain a little bit in some places. Sometimes you need to just back it down. I don't know. But we're going to change a little bit tomorrow and try to get on some bullets. I tell you what, I was really impressed, though, yesterday with the guy's name is what, Shane?
Yeah, Shane.
Shane that came in. I was impressed with what you did for him and able to coordinate all of that and get him a detector out there. I tell you what, guys, if you need something, Tim can take care of you, and he'll go the extra mile to make sure that the guy's hunting on Saturday and needs a detector, right?
Yep.
So you did what needed to be done. So
he's getting it Friday.
Yeah, he'll get it Friday.
Yeah. So it was funny. We were driving to Matt Howe. He took us to a place to hunt, and we were driving down the road. And of course, him and Shane was talking back and forth on the phone, and then Tim was trying to get everything ordered and all that, and he'd get cell phone service, then he'd lose it, and then he'd get cell phone service, then he'd lose it, and then finally he just got it just enough to get the order done, and then it worked out great.
Yep.
Hard to do business with no cell service.
It is. But I was impressed with what you did, and been impressed with you being a sponsor of our show and supporting our show. And by the way, guys, the Knox that we gave away last Thursday night, that was from Murray Branch Outdoors, went to Todd Mass, and couldn't have picked a better winner. I tell you, he came from a bounty hunter to that, and I can't wait to get pictures of him out hunting and stuff. Happy guy.
Good upgrade.
Yeah,
a real good upgrade. Yep. And I can't wait to see the pictures, like Seb said, and I can't wait to see his first find. I hope he posts it on the website. Yeah.
And we're not gonna let the cat out of the bag, but we've got a really good detector that we're going to give away in this next quarter. Probably it's going to be June before we do it. It is here. You guys are going to Florida after we get back home to Kentucky and Tennessee. And as soon as y'all get back from that, we'll unbox it and get it all together, and we're going to demo it and do some videos and things on it, and then you're going to win that detector. It'll be a demo, but we're the ones that's going to demo it, and you'll be able to watch the videos of it, and then you'll say, "Hey, I got a detector here that Tennessee Jeff and Diggin with 7 and the Dig Dogs took out in the field."
Yeah, we made him autograph it for you.
Oh, I tell you what, that just thinking about it, that just makes it. There's no telling what that detector's going to be worth.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like a Van Halen guitar autographed or something. Yeah.
Oh, thanks a lot, Tim, for coming with us, and thanks for all the help that you've given and everything. And I hope that this relationship that we have with Relics Radio and Murray Branch Outdoors lasts a long time.
Me too.
Yeah,
appreciate what y'all do.
Thank you. And we're gonna, as they came in, I guess Matt Howe will be up next, and get him up here. And I'm all out of commercials, so we can just forget about the commercials and just keep on going.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah, get everything set up.
How's it going, Matt Howe?
I'm well. How are you guys?
How'd you do today?
We dug 5 or 6 buttons, a canteen spout, and a dozen bullets or so.
Well, that's pretty good, man. I mean, it's a lot better than I did. But I mean,
when we were at the Wisconsin camp, you came up the hill and you said you got a pit down there, or did you have a hut?
We actually had a pit, and it turned out to be Ross, who is hunting with us. He was poking around in the briars and brambles, anywhere somebody else wouldn't have gone.
Right.
And that thing was just as clear as day. It was actually probably a 3-band barrel where they just sunk it down in the ground. Wow. Not very much in it, though. Just they used it, threw some broken glass in there, and that was pretty much it.
Still fun to dig them out, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You don't ever know what's going to be there.
So, and we saw some incredible pits open today. A lot of really great glass on the Wisconsin Hill, and really all over the farm. So,
why don't you fill us in on the Mississippi plate that was found?
So, I'm not sure where it came from. I'm sure there's a Mississippi camp in what was originally called the Bean Field. It's actually the second Mississippi plate that's come off the farm. One of the first one came off the farm in a very early DIV hunt. But certainly a find of a lifetime, and probably a monetary value that probably most of us couldn't touch.
I'd say so.
And it's it's incredible because it's a drooped eagle, and most people think it's a federal plate when you first see it, but it's a Mississippi plate all day long. This is the first time
I had ever seen one. I've seen the picture that John posted of it. Mm-hmm. Well, one of your guys came up and said, "Have you seen this?" when we were getting ready to leave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And an ID tag was found in the same area, I think. Am I right?
I'm not sure. Actually, Darren was one of his buddies, but I think that was Pennsylvania Volunteers.
I don't know.
I think that's somebody posted. It was a Pennsylvania troop.
I hadn't seen it or anything, but
that's 2 great finds just found right there. I mean, and look how hard this farm's been hit. So I mean, you never know, man.
Am I right? There. Am I right that this is the 10th hunt on?
I think so.
On this farm,
I personally hunted here twice. Yeah. But you're right, and I think that's what brings people back to these style organized relic hunts is the fact that you can come from all over the country, but it's the opportunity to find something once in a lifetime. Mm-hmm. Whether you live in California and you don't get to dig Civil War bullets, that Civil War bullet may be your once in a lifetime bullet. Mm-hmm. Something we're fairly lucky to either live in Tennessee or Virginia and have the opportunity to dig these items pretty regularly. But for other people around the country, a bullet may be a bucket list item.
It could be. I mean, there's a lot of people that would like to find a Colt 44, or even a round ball,
J hook or something.
Eagle button,
Eagle button, or any of those things. Mm-hmm. And they're fairly common finds for us, but we still like to find them, obviously. But I don't think we got any Mississippi plates down there.
No, I hadn't seen any lately. I don't know.
Hey, Matt, how's as most of you know, Matt does some live video shows and everything. How's all that going for you?
It's good. It's come to summertime, so it's harder to produce for the folks listening. I do a YouTube series called Diggin, and we produce a live stream we generally try to do it weekly, but we have a lot of different guests, just like you guys have, and we kind of mix it up and have folks from all over the country, or now actually all over the world. We just had Nicola White, who's from England, on the show recently, and it's good. It's a lot of fun, a lot of work, as you guys know, or we've had these conversations before.
Yeah, we talk privately quite often, and it's a good thing because all of us are so busy we can't watch or listen to each other's stuff too awful much, because I'm working 2 shows and you're promoting all the time. And you've got a job, and you're working your shows, and you're working your YouTube, and what we started out is trying to be for fun has become a business, hasn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely has.
And we're making millions, though, I tell you.
Y'all must have. Y'all work out hard at it.
I will tell you, I've made tens of dollars. So
somebody asked me something the other day about it, and I said, I'm going to tell you the honest truth because I'm doing my taxes now. On Relics Radio, I spent $2,400, just shy of maybe $7, $2,400 last year. And so far on monetization and all that, I think I've got 36 of it back. I'm burning it up, baby. We do it because we love it.
That's right.
We do it because we love it. And I know that you're like me. We do it because we have an avenue here that we can use to spotlight people, whether we have them on as guests, whether we let them call in and talk to them, that we can introduce people. Now we're syndicated, so there are people all over the world that are listening to this show. Mm-hmm. And to you guys, there are, and we've asked our syndication people how many people get this, and they said, we have no idea. Tens of thousands a day get it, so it's unbelievable what we're able to sit in this conference room, and a small group of people, and what you do at your house, what I do in my studio, and Jeff in his living room. Here we are sitting in our underwear,
using the solo cup.
Too much information.
The beauty of radio, right?
The beauty of radio, yeah. And we talked about doing video when we first started, and I told Jeff, I said, we've got a face for radio, so let's just stay with that.
Yeah, we sure do.
Tell everybody how they can get in touch with your channel and all that. We want to plug it all that we can, and we want our syndicated listeners to check this out too, no matter where you live in the world, because you can get this on YouTube, Facebook. Tell them where to go.
So yeah, you can find me on Facebook. We have a small group of pretty dedicated diggers, and that's Gone Diggin on Facebook. It's just search the group name, and then on YouTube we have Ralph. Ralph will tell you all about his Instagram, but on YouTube you can look us up on Gone Diggin as well. But yeah, Instagram is all over the place. All those links are available on all the sites. So if you look us up there, we'll get in touch with you. You can always send us an email too.
Okay.
Right, so
hey, good luck with everything.
Well, thank you guys.
The main question: where are you going to go in the morning?
That's tough.
Brandy Rock.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to Brandy Rock, but I'm going to follow. I'm just going to follow around you. I'm going to follow you around all day, 7.
Are you?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you crazy?
I am.
You must
Have you met me? I said I think you've met me. So
I tell you what, we're going to change it up tomorrow. We're going to get into finding some fired bullets, so we can have a little bit of exercise of just finding some bullets and everything, and maybe lock up on something other, because the Wisconsin camp's been hammered, and I think if you find anything there, it's going to be in a hut or a pit. Do you disagree with that?
No, not at all. Yeah. And that's generally when we come to these hunts. We are pit hunters. We are looking for those places.
Well, we said we will dedicate one day to that, and we'll see how it turns out. If it doesn't turn out, then we're going to change everything. So that's what we're going to do.
Okay, Matt. If I tomorrow, if I go looking for a hut or a pit, what do I listen to on the GPX?
So on the GPX, you want to listen to long, low signals. So if you get a low hum signal that barely rises the threshold and it feels like it's 2 or 3 foot wide, that's your pit. You want to dig that all day long. But you can't go away from overload signals. The last hunt, if you're in an area that you're not getting any overload signals, and for some reason you get a big overload in a big area, you dig it. The last time I was at Beauregard, I found a Civil War officer's hut. It had sword scabbard, whiskey bottles, all kinds of stuff in it. But it was overload, and everything wasn't more than 18 inches in the ground. Wow. So those are really the two things I'll listen for: big, long, low tones, or unusual signals in places they shouldn't be.
Okay.
That's kind of the best. I think the best of both worlds. So, but thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, anytime.
Hey,
this is great. Great seeing you guys.
Yeah, you too. And who you got over there in your group that you're going to send up here next? Barb, we'll get to you as soon as we get these guys right here. And we normally run this show for an hour and a half. Tonight, we're going to run the show as long as we got somebody in here that wants to talk. And people I don't care if you guys on the chat want to stay and listen or not. We're going to still run the show, ain't we, Jeff?
Yeah, well, you'll run it by yourself here before long. I'm going to sleep. I'm wore out.
I think we all are.
Yeah. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Ralph McGee. I'm here with the Gone Digging crew. I have you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Sift and Shovel Relics. So I try to put out a post every day to showcase something that I've found over the years. And obviously been working with Matt a lot, doing some, I'll call it corporate relations. We've got a bunch of really cool stuff in store for this summer.
Yep.
So you guys really encourage you to check us out on the Gone Diggin' channel. We've got some super cool technology that we're going to bring to the relic hunting forum for people to see. Some new tools. You've probably seen Matt talk about it a little bit. We're doing some underwater drone stuff as we approach this summer and the water starts to warm up. We're going to be doing some underwater drone and hopefully give you some footage of some stuff that we can find under the water. So it just expands the channel a little bit and our offering.
And, being friends with you guys and with Matt and us talking, from time to time the way that we do, I know some of the things that you guys have in store in the future, in the near future. It's really, really exciting. And, I don't want to bust y'all's bubble or try to get out ahead of you or anything. You'll release the information as you want to. Mm-hmm. Guys, follow these guys right here because they are working on some stuff that's going to be worth your time. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And
see, I've never seen an underwater drone work, and of course, I've seen Matt. He showed me a picture of one. That is going to be awesome. It really is. And of course, I'm like, man, I think I might get me one. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Sure, we have certain challenges that we're dealing with. In Virginia, we have tidal rivers that have a decent amount of current, and these machines are robust, but sometimes in the full moon cycles and different things like that, you really don't have the serious thrust that you need to hold on to 6 or 8 kind of knots of current that's coming down the river or out the river, in the river, whatever. Yeah. So we're working on the edge of what these things are designed to do, which is really fun.
Okay, visibility. How do you deal with that?
Visibility is a good question. We have accessory lights on the one that we're using right now. And that really does help. You'd be surprised, though, in these rivers, once you get down through that thermocline, the visibility that you have on the bottom is better than you would think it is. It's a lot better than what you're seeing in the top 3 or 4 foot of water.
Well, I didn't realize that. Of course, in Middle Tennessee, we have Cumberland River, and it goes right through mine and his both towns. Of course, he's in Kentucky. And, I mean, you can't see your hand in front of your face.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, something like that, it'd be kind of hard
different mood phases definitely will impact that
because it impacts tide.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. And there are certain windows of the tide that we want to be able to swim the drone in, right? More than others. But this is some really cool stuff. Like I said, we're just trying to get out ahead of it and show people some things that they wouldn't see anywhere else.
Yeah. Now, how deep can this drone go?
It's got it's a 300-foot tether.
Oh, so
on it. So I mean, you can go a long ways, right? Yeah, exactly.
That's cool, man.
Sure.
But yeah, I would love to see. I can't wait to see the videos and stuff.
I tell you what, when you guys get up and going with all that, we're going to have y'all on as guests and let you highlight what you've done and everything.
Oh, we'd love it.
And isn't technology wonderful now? I mean, the things that we can do.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Speaking of technology, I swung the GPX for the first time today.
What did you
literally
think about it?
Turned it on for the first time.
Let me tell you guys this. I go up on the Wisconsin Hill, and I see, well, I'm hunting for a little bit, and then I see Matt. Because Matt's always got the straight bill. He's the only guy I know wears straight bill, across.
Or a license plate on the...
or a license. or them big old black headlights on there, too, And I see him, and I said, that's got to be Matt Howell. Of course, I'm an old man, I can't see. And I kind of easel that way, and I figure it out that it is, because I had talked to him or been with him the day before. And he said, this is the first time he has used a GPX. He has found 6 eagle buttons today. You had a great day, didn't you?
I had a great day. It really was great. It's a beast.
It is a beast.
And my shoulder is feeling it right now. I come from... I swing the XP normally back in Richmond.
Man. Well, there's not much difference between the XP and the GPX.
And I also swing the Amphibio, so not too much difference between weight on those two versus the GPX. It's just, you've got to stick with a cinder block on the end of it is what it feels like.
That's right.
Yeah, the GPX's shaft weighs more than both of the other ones put together.
I think that's probably true.
Well, let me ask you a question. Were you just digging everything that you heard?
I wasn't. Obviously, I've got this great team of guys that set the machine up for me because I don't know the settings from the other. Let's be honest, but they've been running these settings for a while, and they really did pay off today. And I got the 5-minute tutorial, from these guys, from both Matt and Jamie. 2 great guys that know this machine inside and out and have had great success with it. So that really goes a long way for helping a beginner like me.
Yeah. Hey, when the show's over, guys, I want that 5-minute tutorial. I need it. Tell me what a good signal sounds like. Well, obviously, we've got 2 more days here to see if we can work this puzzle out and see what we can do.
My goal is to try to find a pit for the team. That's obviously a different signal than these buttons and the bullets that we're looking for. That's going to take me a little while, but I'm going to try to pick it up just as fast as I can, leaning on these guys for their expertise.
I have faith in you. I think you're going to do it. If you can find 7 eagle buttons right off the bat, then you're going to find a pit.
That is, we're gonna spend at least a half a day somewhere trying to run down just a pit signal, or a hut signal, because we haven't dug one, and I'd like to do that one time before I die. And
I've got in a good trash pit in Middle Tennessee, but never a hut. Now, I dug one on, I think it was a Beauregard, and of course it was just a bunch of broken bottles, and nothing, didn't have anything good in it.
Yeah, well, we had that food jar today that was busted all up. I think we can probably put that all back together. Obviously it'll be a nice display. It's a cool little thing, but we're going to keep trying.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
Yep. Good to have you.
That's on Facebook.
And Denny has brought up a picture of the Mississippi plate. I guess y'all can see that right there, can't you? It is on Diggin in Virginia Facebook page. Come up and look at that. And you coming up, Jamie? We're going to get another of the Gone Diggin crew in here, and then we're going to get to Barb, and unless somebody else comes in, I guess that's all that we've got. What's going on, man?
How are you guys?
Doing good.
Good.
How did you do today?
Not terribly bad. We did a much better job of showing Ralph how to use it than we actually did. It
sounds like it.
So,
don't you hate it when that happens?
I called this before it happened. I said he's going to pick this thing up and he's just going to roll with it. Because I know he's got a great ear for the detectors and everything. I've seen him work in the dais, and my gosh, it's impressive.
You know, somebody that has an understanding of signals and metal detecting. It doesn't matter what machine that they get. It may take them a minute to adjust to it, but they've already got a good ear.
Yeah, and he actually turned it around and helped me today, too. He was talking about the signals, what he's digging and everything, and I started paying more attention to the low to high and the high to low tones and everything, and come to find out, he was dead on the money.
No kidding. See, that's one thing I don't pay attention to, the high, low, high. I just, if it's a smooth signal, I dig it. I mean,
Yeah,
either high or low. If it's
well, we
smooth,
found
I
out
dig it.
later that too it flips on you a little bit depending on the target too. I mean, found out the bullets versus the buttons are flipped. It seemed to me anyway.
Yeah.
And but it still worked. I mean, we did okay. I ended up I think with 10 bullets, a couple eagle buttons. Found a large scent. I think it was 1812.
Yeah.
I don't care how long you do this. I don't care what machine that you're using. If you've got an open mind and if you don't think that you know everything already, you're going to learn something every day, aren't you?
Absolutely.
And
I thought I knew the Deus pretty well.
Yeah.
Between my daughter's boyfriend and Ralph, they have taught me some lessons on that thing, I can tell you. I keep, every time I turn around, I look and see them digging. I'm like, what are you guys digging? I mean, I'm just not hearing these targets.
Yeah.
So they would tell me some things. And, I went away from looking at the numbers on the dais, and I listened to the squeaks, and I started digging the squeaks. You pop the hole, and all of a sudden you get numbers, and I'm like, never knew it.
Yeah.
So,
and don't you think that a lot of people that are listening to us now, whether they're in the United States or they're in Europe or they're in Australia, doesn't matter where they're at, a lot of people they're afraid to ask the question because they think that may be a dumb. There are no dumb questions.
No,
if you don't know
not.
it, you need to ask it.
Absolutely,
because we're all learning.
And I don't think I think a lot. I'm not saying a lot of people. There are people that absolutely won't give you that information too because they don't want anybody to know it.
That's right. And then of course I've seen people that way.
This place I think is completely different. I mean, I think anybody in the world here at DIV is going to help you out.
Yeah, you could walk across the field if they know they will help you out.
Absolutely. Yep.
I mean, you may run into somebody that won't tell you where their spots are, but they'll help tell you how to work the machines.
Yep.
So.
I had to get my phone over here where I could get my calculator because I don't know how many years I've been detecting, but that's it right there.
Is that right?
44 years. I started in 1975, and I'm learning something every day that I go out. And, you would think that if you've done that long, how come you don't know everything?
Right. Well, like you were saying earlier, I mean, technology keeps changing.
It
you
keeps
have to learn
changing.
a new machine. I mean,
and the ground changes every time that you go somewhere.
Yep.
The atmosphere changes. The moisture changes.
Yep.
Your mental attention span changes. Yep. Your swing changes.
The coil. If you change the coil, it's going to sound a little different.
Now, Seven, how many in them 44 years? How many detectors have you had?
I don't know. I don't know. I had one of the old ones. It started with an M. It was an old red box that had a handle that come up on the top. Somebody told me that here last night, I guess, what it was. I went to cleaning the shop out, and I had all kind of junk in there. I threw that thing on the trailer and took it to the dump. I should have hung it up on the wall,
I mean, it's money for that.
It's an antique. It had a big old coil on the thing and just a wire running down there to it, and
just a little meter.
No meter. There wasn't no such a thing as a meter.
There wasn't no little.
No, there wasn't no meter.
All sound.
It was all sound. Yeah. But I started hunting by sound with that detector, with an old White's detector, with an old Heath kit that you put together yourself, is all sound. And believe it or not, I could tell after you used it for a while, you could tell if you had a Cohen or if you had a piece of junk or something. You began to know by the sound.
I think that's still the same today. I mean,
it is
with
the same.
Deus, I mean, you still listen to the sounds.
So guys,
GPX, you got no choice on that. But,
right?
No choice.
Yeah. But if you've got a detector, sound overrides VDI numbers every time. Listen to the sound. The sound will tell you what you've got. I dug a Real. It was a cut Real, and on AT Pro, those of you that use an AT Pro, the thing rang up a 34. And that was something that's just above a nail, really,
Right.
But it was showing 34. But it sounded like a 80 to me, and it was in with a bunch of nails. The nails were killing the number. That was what was killing the number.
Right.
But that peak kept coming out, is only showing 34, but it sounded like 80. And I told somebody, I said, there's a button laying down there. There's a flat button laying in there with those nails. and I dug it out, and it's cut 8 real, so.
It goes to show you.
Yep, goes to show you.
Repeatable signals.
Yep. And that's what I'm going to try to do tomorrow is listen to those signals. But
right.
Don't you think that you get listening fatigue whenever you have a day when the signals are not coming like you want them to?
We heard you said something earlier, and we had talked to Tony Hostetler a couple of years ago, I guess it was, and he gave us a little piece of advice on the GPXs. He said you can always make a bad signal sound good, but you can never make a good signal sound bad.
That is right, and I mean, I
That's
never
true.
really thought about it. And
That's
it is
true. And I found myself today. Whenever I had lead and I knew it was lead, it was just as smooth as butter. You can just hear it.
Obvious.
And obvious. When I put my shovel in the ground, I said it may just be a buck ball, but it's lead. I'll guarantee you that.
Yeah.
But then you start hearing nails, and you're wanting them to smooth out a little bit more.
So we dig them anyway.
So we dig them anyway.
Especially a bent nail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do anything with a bent nail.
You just
I've
gonna
had
have a
some
pocket of them.
great sounding nails today.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a few. No doubt about it.
I have too. Well, good luck, guys.
Thank you,
tomorrow.
guys. Appreciate you having us.
Yep.
Yep.
And we're going to get Barb to come up here tonight and continue with everything. Hey, guys, if you're out there and you want to call in to the show, we can take calls now. 270-495-0315. What's going on, Barb?
Tired.
We're all tired, I think.
Yeah, you can look out at the audience and you can tell everybody's just barely they're hanging on.
Somebody wake Bill Hayes up, please. He's fixing to fall out on the floor. How'd you do today?
Not good. Well, I started way up on the hill, not the Wisconsin, the other way.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Got a grommet. So I'm impatient. I do the wandering thing.
Yep.
And so I wandered down to that new pasture and pulled the button, which my driver says it's New York, but we think it's Wisconsin. So
Well, that's good.
There's always New York button.
I want a New York. I want any kind of state button.
I have a New York Excelsior from.
Yeah, I know. I was up there when you found it. I don't cuss, but I came close.
And it's pretty.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty.
It's beautiful.
And I filmed that whenever you were up there. You and Earl. Earl was up there. That's the only time I seen Earl, by the way, on that hunt was when he come over there. And I'm trying to talk to Barb, and I'm trying to film it, and Earl won't shut up. Look at the gilt on that button. I tell you what, that button.
One thing about Earl, when you're hunting with him, and then you get out of the truck and you turn around and you look, where'd Earl go? And then you won't see him till that evening. He goes, don't he?
Now, let me tell you this, Barb. Denny's running all over the country telling that he taught you how to find a bullet this afternoon. Is that true?
I want to tell you what. I was at the last Brandy Rock, and I dug 23 buttons on that hill. And today, they just either my headphones have taken a vacation, or my settings on my GPX, somebody manipulated them, because bullets did not sound like they did the last time we were here. And he dug 6 in front of me just to make a point, and I'm like, and then he says, "Here, I think we got one." So I was like, "Okay," and dug this big old piece of crap.
Yeah.
But he finally found one and said, "Okay, I think this one's good." So yes, I dug a bullet for Denny, and he let me keep it.
Yeah.
And I dug 2 after that.
Yeah. But, the bullets do change. The sound does
they
change.
sound nothing like they did the last time
Right.
here.
And that can happen
overnight.
From one day.
Yep.
That can happen in the same day. Jeff and I were hunting in Tennessee one time, and we were hunting an old plantation house there, and signals were terrible. I mean, we just wasn't finding anything. Nothing was popping the way it ought to. We were just struggling. And the sky began to get black back there, and you could see lightning. You couldn't hear any thunder yet. We didn't use any headphones, and in a minute we heard a big clap of thunder, and Jeff said, "We're probably going to have to get under the porch, here in just a minute." Well, as the thunder got closer and you could feel the coolness of that storm coming in and the wind picked up, man, those signals just went to blasting out. And I didn't get under the porch. I mean, I was out there lightning striking trees and the ground all around me.
And I was sitting there on the porch. I was like, man, he's crazy. Man. He's got a death wish. I mean,
but it changed. I mean, the signals really did change, and they'll do that sometimes.
Yeah, I don't care how many flat buttons is out there. It wasn't worth getting struck by lightning.
Where are you going to go tomorrow? Don't know.
No, I know.
Okay. Ain't going to tell us.
Brandy Rock?
Ain't going to tell us.
Brandy Rock, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, that's Jeff.
Somewhere out in the field.
Yep, somewhere out in the field.
Uh-huh.
There are a few good finds that are left on this place. Obviously, we've seen the Mississippi plate. We see the ID tag that was found, and Denny brought me a picture up here a while ago and showed me that. How many hunters have we got?
250?
Somewhere in that neighborhood, 235, 250, something like that. So we've got a one. Well, I said that the other night, and somebody said, or I think Matt Howes one that challenged me on it. I said, we've got a 1 in 235 chance of finding a good find. And they said, oh, no, those odds won't work because you've got people here that are really, really, really good. And so, that's going to change the odds. I guess it does, probably. But, any one of us in this room here tonight can go out tomorrow and find the find of a lifetime.
Oh, yeah, very easy.
And I'm going to tell you what. This is my 10th EIV. And day one always sucks for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I get some cool finds, but day two is like my day.
I hope it is tomorrow too.
Knock on wood, I hope so.
And it's kind of the same way with us. We never have a good first day because I think you're trying to overthink it, maybe, or you're trying things and stuff, and then you settle down on the second day. You slow down. You have to slow down because you're tired. And you just finished up with another hunt. Mm-hmm. So this is actually your fourth day instead of your first day, and you got two more. I tell you what, hats off to you because that is rough.
I've done it one time, and I said I'd never do it again.
This is my third time.
Third time?
And
man.
We got sleeted out day 5, one hunt, snowed out or rained out. Day 5, another hunt, so that saved me. Yeah. But I did swing the Knox all day yesterday to save my arm for today. So.
Yeah, that was a good idea. That was a good
I
thing.
didn't find crap with it, but...
Yeah.
How did the Knox work in this hot soil?
I used it at Fair Oaks.
Okay.
And I used it...
Is it not as hot there?
No.
Okay.
And I used it the last 2 hours and found a massive hole of camp lead. And then I used it yesterday and didn't find a dang thing.
Yeah. Well, you know how it is. It may not be the machine, It
may be the person.
And not that, I mean, today we were saying we were talking about settings on a machine, and I looked at my audio, and my audio was on normal instead of deep. And so I called Ron over, and I knew what Jeff's was going to be on. And I called Ron over, and I said, what is your audio on? And we looked at it, and it's deep. And, of course, Tim's out hunting all of us today. I said, what? I said, let me see your machine. What are you going to do with it? He said, he thought we was going to change everything. And I looked, and I said, you're on quiet. And he said, yeah, I changed it up there when we were in all those nails. And I said, but you're finding all these bullets, with it in quiet. And he looked at me, and he said, Loy, it's not a machine thing. We're just in a lead-free zone right now. And so, the bullets are not there. And so I guess so hopefully we'll get to where the bullets are tomorrow, and we'll figure out what they sound like and get everything tuned back in. And by the way,
Barb, since you've been to 10 DIVs, right? What is your best find?
That is tough.
You always have.
Cause
always have one real good find every hunt.
Every single hunt, I find something I've never found before, and this not Brandy Rock, but at Fair Oaks.
Yeah, you found a ringtail sharps.
I got my first ringtail sharps. I never found one. I got 200 bullets and no ringtail sharps. So
no,
I tell you,
I have one now.
Yeah.
Well, that's
and that that's the beauty of a hunt like this. You can come and find something different, that you haven't found. What I was going to ask, have you heard anything on Josh? How's Josh doing now?
He hasn't talked to me.
Okay.
But I did come representing.
Okay.
I'm sorry I don't own a Relic radio shirt.
No, you gave it away.
I know. I gave it away. What was I thinking?
That's okay. That's fine. Because we support Josh, and we support American Digger, and we support All Metal Mode, and, Hardcore. We support all those guys. But I know that Josh is going through some treatments and things right now, and it's really rough, and he's in our thoughts and prayers, and he supports us, and we support him. And I just hope that he gets through all that. And I listened to his show last night, and I think it was an archive show.
It was, but it was good.
Yeah, it was a good show.
It was a good show.
Well, every show he has is good. I mean, you can just go back and listen to it again.
Too.
Yeah.
Except for Mark Hoover joins in. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in. Hope you're listening, Mark.
Oh, he's listening somewhere. Mark Hoover is out he's out at the Garrett.
Texas.
Yeah, he's out at the Garrett hunt representing Relics Radio there, and good possibility that we may go out there next year instead of coming to DIV. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But as soon as we get back, Jeff and Tim Henderson are going down to Florida, and
to CMDF.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be nice.
It'll be great.
It sure will.
You know what it is? We don't get enough vacation time to go to every hunt we want to go.
Yeah.
That's something. We need to contact the president. Everybody needs to get 6 weeks off a year.
That's right.
Deanie just brought this up to me. He's following the chat for us tonight, and Ohio Relic Hunter said that he talked to Josh earlier today, and he's recovering well, and he will be back at it shortly. So that's
good deal.
That's good news.
Good deal.
Yeah,
Love you, Josh. Josh never gets in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
but he's a lurker. He is always there.
He gets in the chat quite often, really, on our show, and a lot of times it's toward the end of it, and he'll say "good show" or "I was listening" or something else. But our thoughts and prayers are with you, and hope you have a good day tomorrow, Barb.
I pray everyone does. You know what? But I'm going to tell you what. Even if I don't find a lot, it's just great being with y'all guys.
Well, we really appreciate that.
And it's funny. I'm like, Mom, could you call me tomorrow and say good luck? Because she wished me good luck, and 2 seconds later, I found the ringtail sharp. So I'm like, could you do this on a daily basis, Mom?
Yeah, give her my number.
I've done that with Mark Hoover calling me. He called me, and then just as he calls, I've just found something other. And if he doesn't call, I don't find. He didn't call me today.
Yeah. What is it? Mark Hoover effect?
Yeah, the Mark Hoover effect is what I called it on the video that I did. But isn't it funny, the superstitions that we come up with?
Oh, I do. I was like, Mom, call me tomorrow about 8 o'clock and say good luck.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a superstition of the kind of socks that you wear, the color socks you wear, or bandana that you wear, or
my bandana?
Okay.
And I tried pink today for Emily, because Emily gave me my pink bandanas, and everyone's like, I could see you 2 million miles away. And I'm like, Emily gave me 2 pink bandanas. But
we seen you in that field, and when we was coming up through there, somebody said, I think it's me, I said, that walks and swings like Barb. And then as we got closer, they said, yep, that's Barbie. Got that pink bandana on.
Yeah. And so I'm going to go back to blue tomorrow, because that's just my favorite bandana. But I did good with the pink, Emily, but I'm going to blue it tomorrow for the
good
bandana.
deal. Hopefully the blue will bring you good luck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And shout out to Miss Emily. They listen to our show quite often. And
she's a sweetheart.
She is a sweetheart.
And it's funny. I went to the Dalton, Georgia show and met her for the first time. And we had a great day. We toured the place. Kid goes out and digs her plate the next day. And I'm like, I must have been good luck. And her dad's like, come on back.
we got to meet her. We got to meet her at the Chattanooga show. Was where we met her, and actually, we did 3 shows that day. Since we were set up, I engineered all 3 of those, and I think she was on American Diggers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Patrick had to come on after her, and he when he first got on, he said, "You can't follow that. She is just such an adorable, adorable hunter. Sure is." Well, good luck tomorrow, and
you too. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
Appreciate it. And we had somebody try to call in there real quick. Y'all, good luck, Barb. We are at the bottom of the hour. If somebody wants to call in, we will try to take a call. Things are kind of jumping around here a little bit. I think it's just that the computers have been sitting here for an hour and a half and everything. But give you just a minute. Here we go. We got one coming in. Got Greg calling in. See if I can get him linked up. Hey, Greg, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
Hey, what's going on tonight?
How you doing, guys? I was almost tempted not to call in because you guys had so much good, folks that were talking that sound like they were having a good time. We've got some of our club members up there, and Larry Stewart's up there. I told him to kind of look for you guys, but I think he's passed out at the hotel. But I know he's swinging. I guess I remember back in the day watching the DIV videos, and everybody used any kind of detector. Now it just seems like, I don't know if it's just me or is it, are the pulse induction machines the only ones you really can use if you want to find something?
Yes, pretty much. I mean, a pulse induction machine up here in Culpeper, if you want to find something, that's the only machine to use. Now, you may be able to get a VLF to work in certain spots, woods or something, but the targets are going to be very shallow. And then, of course, most of them's already been found. So
already been scooped up. Yeah. He did pretty good today. I know he just posted a picture, and he found I'm not too familiar with the buttons, or I know one was I want to say maybe it was a flat button for the 1700s, and then he had about 8 or 9 bullets, and he had something else. And then yesterday he posted up some photos, and he had I can't think of the name of the tool. But when they cast out the bullets, and then they had like this little machine that would kind of cut the end off or cut the little, he found one of those as well. So he's been going up every year at least once. Maybe one of these times I may go up just for heck, if I don't even detect, but but just to get to meet people, because like somebody was saying earlier, it's not how you, it's not. It's like the people you meet, sometimes you do it just for the networking and just for the camaraderie and just to meet people.
Yes, if you need to come up, because you'll meet a lot of people, and then like if you don't have a pulse machine, they rent pulse machines, and I'm sure you know someone that has a pulse machine would let you borrow one. So, but it's a nice place up here to hunt.
And you can get in the woods with a VLF machine and find some things. I brought a CTX up here. I know people. I saw people today that were hunting with the Equinox, and if you've got the Equinox 800 and you use the gold mold in that, it won't be a great signal, but I think that you'll have some signals that you can dig.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk the wife into getting one of those, but I just got an AT Max last year, and I've used, I've been a Garrett's person for a long time now, but I don't know, I'm seeing things that people are finding, but I don't know, I see that happen a lot when new machines come out, but I'm happy with my Garrett, but sometimes you have to have an arsenal that's very versatile, I guess. So sometimes having different makes, can help you out in the same token. So. But now, did I hear correctly that somebody said that this was the last DIV? Or they were thinking that this might be the last DIV?
That would be the last DIV on Brandy Rock. I've heard that. Now, I'm not for sure. Okay, John Hendricks has said that. Yes, this is the last DIV.
The permit or something ran out.
Yeah, well, I know there's. I've been watching it probably since I got into metal detecting when I moved to Florida. Like, I used to watch. I think it was SC Digger used to do videos every year, like way back in the day. Probably like DIV 4 or 5. I don't know what they're up to now, but
we're at 45 right now.
Yeah, we're at 45.
Yeah. And I know it's like a waiting list or something, right? You have to be invited or something.
Well, you do. You just go on mytreasurespot.com, and then check out DIV's it has different lists down on mytreasurespot.com, and then you'll go to DIV, and then you'll have to just wait on the sign-ups. And as soon as sign-ups are posted, you just sign your name in, and then of course, I mean,
one of these. My wife was asking about where it was, and I said, well, with work being the way it is, just trying to get out, so for something that, I mean, I don't know. It might be something I can look at down the road, but obviously, as the years go on, those places, the signs get, they get thinner and thinner. But, and I told Mark I was going to call in. Originally, I was speaking with him the other night, and I was like, "Oh, you're not up in Virginia?" He's like, I forgot he was going to Garrett, the Charles Garrett event, and they got a pretty good group going out there. There's about 400 or 500 people or something.
Yeah, but, he sent us pictures this afternoon. Him and Gail, they're having a big old time, and he's representing.
I don't know. Yeah, I saw some of the photos he posted up there. It was pretty neat, and I know a few other folks from down his way were out there. I know Carolyn from his club; she was out there. We were following everybody there. They were stopping at all these different states and like posting photos and how much. I was like, I don't know how they drove that far without sleep, but hopefully they switched drivers. But no, the reason I was calling originally, but I mean, just talking about the DIV, but, Mark and anybody who's from Florida was familiar with the Florida Hunt 4 that I put on, and I'm not sure I don't think your show was on around that time. But every other year I usually put on a hunt, but after Florida Hunt 4, I said I wasn't going to do another one. A gentleman, we take turns doing hunts here in Florida, and he had Florida Hunt 5, was in the books, and we was trying to organize it. And with health issues, it basically was extended, then it was canceled. So I told Mark, because this is probably one of my more favorite radio shows that when I do listen, I like to catch you guys on live. I don't mind listening, after the fact, but listening to you guys live is always best. And with the call-ins, the first time I ever listened to you guys, I won a shirt. I rocked it on my cruise. Everybody was like, "What's Relic Radio?" You don't know how many people asked me about the shirt on the cruise ship. It was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I mean, everybody asking you about Relics Radio on the cruise ship. So
yeah, I mean, I wore it when I got off the boat. That day that I wore it, I was actually in the Dominican Republic. That was the day. It was like the third day, I think. We go on a 7-day cruise every year. So when we close our business down.
Yeah, if I can get Seven to put a Relics Radio across his houseboat, and then we could rent it out that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was planning on was going to make. Well, it's a little ways off, but I've gone ahead and against my better judgment. After talking, my hunt's going to be a little bit different than the normal Florida hunts that I put on. Normally, it was just by donations. We would like last year we did when we did mine. We did a food bank. We filled up a back of a pickup truck with food from about 65 people that came out to my hunt. It was probably one of my best and biggest hunts that I had. But I plan. We're going to call this one Florida Hunt 6, but it's going to have another name to it. So I'm making it official today. There will be a page that'll go up, and it's going to be what we're going to be doing is we're going to be raising money for an association. And there'll be more information as time goes on, but, people that know me, I don't give out all the information at once just because in the past I've had people that have gone out to places and, either, trespassed or, they reached out or kind of burned bridges for the groups to get out, so, but there'll be a Facebook page and people can sign up there and, as far as I know, I spoke with the CEO of the company that owns the property. It's probably about 200 acres, dates back to the early 1800s. So I usually get pretty good spots and looking forward to it. I spoke with Mark the other day and I kind of gave him a little bit of information because I know it was killing him, and I was talking to him on Facebook Messenger and then I called him up before he left and I said, just don't say nothing to anybody, but I'll call in the show because it's my favorite show. And I'll make the announcement. My wife kept on bugging me while I was sitting there listening, and I'm like, "Well, they're going to end the show in a minute, or two." I said, "People are, people are finishing up talking." She's like, "If you don't call, I'm going to call in." I'm like, "Give me the phone." So
hey, when you get closer to that and you get ready to announce it and everything, be sure and call back in and.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know the time. I know we had, because with Florida, with the hunting season, I know I already know it's going to be probably at the very end of the year. So, I mean, because what I do is I reach out to all these different companies. I get prizes and stuff, and it's a pretty good turnout. And just because of the logistics with this company, and they do things on this property year round, so I've got like I want to say between January and March window. I'm probably going to do February of 2020 just because it's cooler weather. But I know I had people on a waiting list last year, and because we kind of capped it at about 80 people. And we had 70 acres last year, and we were there for one day. People, I mean, Mark will tell you, we were pulling out some amazing finds. And right now, the hunt's going to be one day on a Saturday, but I'm working on some other properties in the area for Sunday for those that want to stay behind, and those will be free locations. The Saturday hunt, we're working out. They're going to have food on site for us, and it's a lot of logistics I'm working on, but I wanted to get the word out there because I know a lot of people were kind of disappointed that the Florida Hunt 5 had gotten canceled. So I just wanted to put a spark under everybody and let them know that, hey, I'm coming back from the dead. I wasn't going to do another one, but I feel like, in the company that I've met with and what they do for, first responders, first responders and military, I wanted to do something for the company, and what better way? They've got some property that we can detect. We'll raise money for them and have a good time. So,
wow, that sounds like it's going to be great. I can't wait.
Yep.
And as you get closer to, put it on our Relics Radio Facebook group page. I know you're a member there, and also on Adventures in History. And,
Mark. Yeah, but I'll be spending a lot of time. I'm trying to get a little bit of detecting in myself because I know when I did the last one, I didn't get much time, but. I got out the other day and the bug bit me. I mean, we weren't detecting anywhere old, but we were helping a contractor find property markers. And one of my club members went out there. And, it's not always about finding the silver and the gold like I posted on Facebook, but this guy, it would have cost him several $100s to have somebody come out with a GPS unit. Because down here they put these little rebarbs with little plastic caps in the ground, and they read it with a tool. They have a little wheel, and it finds a GPS tracker, and they charge you, a ridiculous amount. So we found it within 45 minutes. We found all three of them, so it was good to get back out. But I need to get out and find some history, So
yeah. Well,
for sure, guys. You guys have a great time.
Okay,
and
thanks for the call.
Seeing everybody's finds, and we'll catch you next Thursday in the next show.
Okay,
all
Greg.
Right.
We'll be back at home. We'll be back at home next week, and we appreciate the call, and we'll talk to you later.
Alrighty, guys.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, you too. And we appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We are going to close up shop because they want to get in here and clean the room up tonight, and we've still got to break everything down and take it to the room and everything. But me and Jeff will be live again from our normal spot. That's next Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Check out All Metal. Beyond Sight and Sound on Monday night. I ain't got my cheat sheet. See, I normally look up on the wall and look at all that, but Josh has got a show every Sunday night and Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, and then on Monday night at 9 o'clock or at 8 o'clock, go to All Metal Mode. That's Mike Hare and Gypsy Jules. They've got a good show. And then I'm on with Butch and Jeff Lupert on American Digger Relic Roundup on Monday night at 9 o'clock. And then on Thursday night, also, Hardcore Metal Detecting has a show every Thursday and Saturday at 8 o'clock Eastern. And then XP Team USA, they're having a show every other Friday night, and it's at 8 o'clock Eastern. And obviously, me and Jeff will be right back here next Thursday, so join us then. Thank you so much for joining us on Relics Radio. We really do appreciate it. Be sure and join us live each Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern here on Spreaker. Or you can catch the archive show at Relics Radio on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and many other podcast outlets. Relics Radio is also syndicated on GoodTalkRadio.com and has a show each Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Arizona time. Please take a minute and hit the like button, and be sure and follow us so that you'll get notifications of all of our upcoming broadcasts. You can also find us on YouTube at Diggin with 7 or Tennessee Jeff, or you can check us out on our Relics Radio Facebook group page or Adventures in History on Facebook. If you'd like to get in touch with us, then send an email to relicsradio@outlook.com. We'd love to hear from you. We hope you'll join us for our next episode, and until then, get out there and dig some history.